There are 7 things that you should never do after uploading a YouTube video. And chances are they're most likely killing your videos before they even have a chance to get views. And the first is actually sharing your video. Now, most people think that the goal with a YouTube video is to get it out to as many people as humanly possible as fast as possible. But that's not actually what you want to do. You typically at the start want to let YouTube find the best audience for your video possible, and you don't want to try to force a different audience on that video. So what will happen is a lot of people will share it to their friends and family. They'll post it inside different Facebook groups or communities, and they'll think, oh, this will get me more subscribers, and therefore that's a good thing to do. But the problem is that your friends and family probably aren't the best people to be watching your videos because maybe they don't care about the topic quite as much as someone who that video is actually made for would. But there is one scenario where this does make sense. So let's say you have a channel about how to be more fit, and then you have an email list of a bunch of people who want to learn how to get fitter. Then sending that video out to that email list would make sense. Or let's say you have a business channel, and then you have an Instagram account that has just business owners on it, people who you talk to, people who you share business value to already. You could post that on your Instagram story and get a bunch of the right people on your video, which could really help it at the start, but you have to make sure that that audience is aligned. The second is switching your title and thumbnail too much. If you open up your YouTube studio and you see a 10 out of 10, you are going to be very likely to want to switch up that thumbnail. However, this could really hurt the video when if you just left it, it could take off and turn into a 1 out of 10. Let me explain how this works. So a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll see that their video is underperforming, and then they'll go ahead and they'll switch the title and the thumbnail. Now the video is still underperforming. So they'll switch it again, and then they'll switch it again, and then they'll switch it again. They'll switch it, 4 or 5 times within the span of the first week of that video going live. That is the wrong way to test titles and thumbnails on YouTube, because what happens is you're switching it so much to where YouTube doesn't have the opportunity to actually go and find the right audience for that video. YouTube needs time to test your video with different audiences and see who actually enjoys watching it and who would click on it. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't change your title and thumbnail at all. What you should do is follow this framework. The first thing you want to do is calculate the average click-through rate on your channel. So let's say that out of the last 10 videos you post, the average CTR that you got in the first 24 hours was 7%. You now know that your average CTR or click-through rate after 24 hours is 7%. And with that number, you can now use that to judge future thumbnails and decide whether or not to change it. So every time you post a video at that 24-hour mark, if the video is performing well, if it's underperforming, you want to take a look at that CTR number and see if it's below or above your average. If the CTR is above your average, then what you want to do is just leave it. The thumbnail is good. It's working with your audience. It's probably something else that's causing the video not to do so well at this moment. But if your CTR is below average, then that is a great sign that you want to switch it just once. So you'll switch the title and thumbnail, or you could just switch the thumbnail, doesn't really matter. And then the key here is you want to wait a week. You don't want to just keep switching it every single day. You need to give YouTube time to optimize. So after you switch the thumbnail, always wait at least 7 days. And then after 7 days, if it's still below your average, which by the way, you have to calculate a new average after 7 days. So look at your average CTR at day 7. And then if it's still underperforming, at that point, you can run an A/B test. But you want to give your video at least 7 days after switching the initial concept within the first 24 hours. And the third is something that I see a ton of people messing up on. And this one is a real video killer. If you have this setting on your videos will not go viral. And that is the made for kids setting. So a lot of the time what happens is people think, oh yeah, well, my content is kid friendly as well, even though it's an adult topic like business or fitness or something like that. So I'll select, yeah, it's made for kids. I don't want YouTube to restrict it not for kids. So let me go ahead and click yes. The problem is, if you click this, then it will get sent out on kids' YouTube. And what that means is pretty much no adults are going to get it. And so unless your content is explicitly made for kids, then you want to always keep this off. Because let's say you do a business video and it just gets sent out to 12-year-olds. Unfortunately, most of them are probably not going to click on that video. However, if you select no, then what's going to happen is it's going to get sent out to kids and to adults, which is what you want. Now, one mistake that I see a lot of people making is they actually delete their old videos. So for example, on this video right here, this one, if I click this and delete forever, then that is not going to be good for my channel. YouTube doesn't like to see you deleting videos, and I always recommend just privating a video instead of deleting it. We've had multiple clients and a lot of, my big YouTube friends where they've deleted videos and then their channel just goes stagnant for like a few months. Their videos don't perform well and things just aren't going the way that they should. Now, there's no real explanation for this, and YouTube doesn't explicitly say that they do this, but it's a trend that I've seen happen time and time again. And I would recommend just err on the side of caution and don't delete your videos. That's something I learned from Graham Stephan, and it's something that I've taken into my YouTube career, and it's served me well. The next is not adding a pinned comment. So here's one of our recent videos, and if I go to the actual video, one thing that you'll see is that we have a pinned comment on it. What do you think of this study? So in this video, I'm talking about a certain YouTube study from 1 of 10 that tells us all the analytics of what's working right now on YouTube. And then from here, I could have just let the comments go, right? And responded to the comments. But one thing that I did in order to insinuate more responses, create more engagement on my video, is have this pinned comment here with a common question that people might want to answer. That has gotten 4 replies, on a video with 6.1 thousand views, which is pretty good. And it's helped people comment more. Additionally, if you have a business that you're driving to, one thing that you can do is in the pinned comment, you can say, go work with me or take advantage of the special offer. Pin that comment. That's going to get a lot of people, who are looking in the comments to actually go and click on your landing page and eventually get a sale from that. So these are a really powerful asset that you can use to farm engagement on your videos. And if you're not taking advantage of this right now, then you're just missing out on free engagement. So always put a pinned comment. It's an easy thing to do. YouTube likes it. And there's just no reason why you shouldn't. The next thing is running YouTube promotions. So one thing that you have the option to do on YouTube is promote your channel and videos. So as you can see, if you go over to the promotions tab right here, you can go ahead and click get started, and it's going to prompt you to, enter your Google Ads information and start spending some money to, promote your video. And a lot of beginner creators can think at the start that this is a really good option to grow my channel. Why would I post these videos that I'm working so hard on and not just take advantage of views that I can pay, $1 for 1,000 views? Well, the thing is those views aren't really the views that you want. Even though you're running ads and you're promoting your video to real people, the problem is that majority of those people are not there to watch your video. And in fact, they're just getting the ad on another YouTube video, just skipping through it, or they are clicking on it, but it's still not quite the right person who should be on your video. So with that, it's just overall a very negative thing to do. I've seen tons of channels that have run promotions, gotten to 10,000 subscribers in their first month, and then just flatlined. When they go back to posting organic content, they go from 50,000 views per video to 100 views. There's no real longevity built by running paid ads on YouTube. Unless you have a business and you're running retargeting ads to make sales, then that's a different story. But if you're just running advertisements to boost your channel, then that can really hurt you long-term, because you're gonna be getting a ton of what's called ghost subscribers, where they watch one video and then they never watch your content again. So I would really recommend avoiding doing YouTube promotions, especially at the start. If you're gonna do it, you should wait until you have 300,000 to 500,000 subscribers. And at that point, then it makes some sense to do, but still doesn't make that much sense. I would really just recommend staying away from it and just posting and taking advantage of the YouTube algorithm. That's gonna perform much better long-term. And also it's free. And the 7th mistake is actually one of the biggest ones, because most people think that YouTube looks at click-through rate and then average viewer duration. Those are the 2 metrics that most people look at. However, what YouTube actually looks at is session time. And so what we can see here is on this video where we've posted it, let's go ahead and check the analytics. So we have 21% average viewed, right? Which is fine for our channel. That's pretty normal. And then what we look at on the engagement side is the in-screen click-through rate. Right here, 5% in-screen click-through rate. Channel average is 8.7. I would recommend you compare that to yours, and you'll see that this is a pretty high in-screen click-through rate. What this does is that means that 5 to 8% of the people on this video, well, I guess 5% on this video, are going to this next video right here. So I'm getting 5% of, 6,000 people on that second video. And when that happens, those people are much more likely to watch that second video pretty far through. They're likely to spend 6 to 8 minutes on average on that video. And what that does is it takes the amount of time that someone watches my channel from 1 minute 51 seconds to 7 to 8 minutes, which is crazy. And so YouTube actually looks at overall session time. They look at how long someone has stayed on YouTube after clicking on your first video. So even if that's another channel, it doesn't even matter. They just look at how long does this individual video keep people on the platform. And your goal is to maximize that, which means you need an end screen. So the basic part of that is just doing an end screen, right? So go ahead and click end screen down here and just add that. What you want to do to increase the in-screen click-through rate is in the video, you want to say, hey, go watch this video next where I show you X, Y, and Z things. So let's say, for example, on this video, first I would connect it to the next one, right? So let's say I'm connecting to our settings video. Now that you know how to optimize your end screens, you need to learn all of the other YouTube settings that allow your channel to go viral, because they can really hurt you if you don't know them. And then what you want to do is create curiosity. So you could say, and there are 33 settings that most beginner YouTubers ignore. And if you get them right, it will allow your channel to get way more views than it currently has, right? So now people are wondering, what are those 33 settings? And then after that, I would do my CTA/promise to get somebody to the next video. So then I would say something like, so watch this video next where I show you what those settings are and how you can set them up in under 20 minutes. Thanks and have a great day.